First part I'm going to go through in detail is the non-user side. So this is the administrative function done at the back end by the management for this system. What we're going to use is the Goodreads API, which is a really useful system. There's lots of different methods here to get a lot of actions, often based around the community side, so what other users are doing, so you can get different reviews and such. We don't need most of this. All we're going to do is go in and list books based on a specific author. But easy to get a developer key and just set up, so we'll leave the ins and out of the Goodreads API for you to go through their tutorial. But this is what we'll be using. Need to go through this page in a moment. So what we have is a very simple class here. Now, at the moment, DRS doesn't allow for us to automate the update of async, so we're going to have to do this manually, which is why I've just created a small helper here. What we're going to do is just create a CSV file which will contain, for each of the genres we've picked, which we've got 4 here, which is thriller, horror, comedy and sci-fi. For each genre we're going to get a single book, and we'll get the ISBN, we'll get a title just so it's easy for you to recognise what's going on while doing the updates, and we'll list that out, and then we'll just update the slots accordingly. With the idea that you'll do this maybe at will. I'll probably do it for myself, like when I order a new book I can rerun this. This is a limitation on DRS at the moment. If they had an automated system, we could just have it go off as required. Later down on the page I do actually explain some of the improvements I would like in the future, and that's all dependent on other parts at the moment. So in here we're going to generate our CSV, and to do that we'll call this get book list, which will take a random number from the list of authors for the thriller, horror, comedy and sci-fi, and each one it will then do the get book. And for the get book we're going to call a service call to the Goodreads API, and in that response we will get a list of all of the books from that author. Again, quick bit of random numbers, and then we will just take a random book from here and return the ISBN title, and we already have the genre and author. So we're just using the one API call, and the code file for this is at the bottom of the page along with all the other code. Now how we're doing the authors, because Goodreads uses their own ID system, so each author has an ID. I've just gone through and picked, so I'm using this for demonstration purpose. I've only actually picked 5 for each, but moving forward you could specify and give higher weighting to different authors. So we just have a look to show this. So if I know what one of the authors I've got is Tom Clancy, so and there we go. If I just open up the author page, and the author page you can see the Goodreads ID here, which is what we've done. So I've just copied this for a number of different authors at the moment, and then given them a list. So to run this, again, because there's no automation at the moment, I've just simplified this and done a test method that will just call my DLR. So my code's ready for the future if we can script this, or even better, call it dynamically each time somebody selects the DRS, which again I'll go into detail later in the document itself on Hackster, because that would make the best system. So if I go to Windows, Test Explorer, and I just run this test, at the moment I have nothing in this book test folder. Okay, now we've got our test complete. We've got a CSV file here. I'm going to edit this in Notepad++, as if I do it in Excel, ISBN's going to have a 0 at the start and it'll drop them out. So I have 4 books, 1 for each of the genres. The only thing we're really interested in the ISBN, the rest is just so that as the person running this process, I can just be sure that what's happening is correct. So I'll just show an example of how we can update this. If I just copy the first one, so this is Thriller. I have the data, and if I go to my DRS dashboard, under my device, which is a Smart Book Club, I have 4 slots. Now, slot 1 is Thriller. I've already gone through this test once, so I already have a few in here. At the moment we have Armoured Cav by Tom Clancy. I just search for this book. Now this one's actually out of stock, which is something that is going to happen quite often, to be honest, because I've picked some really old authors. But what we can do is just find another one just so that we can show the process here. Clive Barker, so if we check him now. Yeah, so we've got Clive Barker's Hellraiser Volume 1. So I could, in my horror, I could just update this and then drop out the previous one, which was The Dark Tower, Book 7. And if I find that there's a couple of ones that aren't available that I want in the list, I can rerun the process as many times as I want. But at the moment we've got, under comedy, we've got Good Omens, here's the option, and sci-fi interface by Neil Stevenson, I believe. And then one from Tom Clancy at the top. So there's our dash thing updated. So now the slots are available for when we actually deploy the device. So let's just close this.